Hey everybody, I was going to do another rain and pennsic video, but this subject has come up a couple of times online, so I figure I did promise to do a video on it, so here it is. But before I do, I would like to remind you that this is not an official broadcast of the East Kingdom, Ethelmark, Midrealm, Society for Creative Anachronism, Cooper's Lake Campground, or pennsic staff. None of this is official, but this is my experience as a land agent for many, many years and being neurodivergent. Yes, this is a neurodivergent video that I had promised a couple of times ago, and but it's come up again online, and so it's about time I do this video. I've promised it, so here it is. One of the reasons for doing this video is to kind of help dispel a problem that I'm partially guilty of starting, and that is people who are neurodivergent worrying about being overwhelmed at pennsic. Before we go any further, neurodivergent is a catch-all phrase for people who are neurodivergent. Their brain does not work in the typical sense. So people with ADHD, various learning disabilities, autism, things of that nature, all of that constitutes neurodivergent. And so that's where this is coming from. I'm also may touch on other possible handicap situations in this video, but right now this was what came up. So, part of the problem, like I said, is the being overwhelmed at pennsic. And I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of hyping pennsic where people are scared of being overwhelmed. And because so many classes and all the battles and all this, it's a sales hype by somebody who's excited about the game. That's what it is. The reality of it is that there is a lot of downtime at pennsic. You can sleep all day, all night. You could go there and sleep for 2 weeks and not do a darn thing. And other than, dehydrating in your tent if you don't get up in the morning, if you're sleeping out in the Getty or something, you're pretty much up to your own devices, whatever you want to do. And unless you're squired to someone who's going to tell you to go to a battle or tell you to go to a class if you're an apprentice or whatever, or you're somebody's champion where you have to be at something, you don't have to be anywhere. And even if you're in those situations, you should have at least enough of a relationship with the person telling you to do it that if you're overwhelmed, you can say, yo, I'm taking the day off. It's my vacation. Because it is. It's your vacation. Have fun. There's lots of downtime at pennsic. Now, yeah, there's 10,000 classes. There's hundreds of battles and all that stuff. And with that, everyone's done fighting and eating dinner all at the same time. Everybody's like chilling out till the sun goes down before the parties start. If you don't party, you got all night. You got the chunk of time between all the fighting and classes stopping and dinner and then the sun going down. There's lots of time that there's nothing to do, or what there is to do is by your own volition or due to weather, due to camp situations where, I got to fix my tent or I got to change my garb situation or whatever. But none of that's on a time schedule. So do it as you like. Something to remember is the fact that we are more than likely higher than average neurodivergent at pennsic than we are in the real world. We attract each other. A lot of people come into the SCA going, I found my people. Kind of what the situation is. With that said, if you are watching this, you are capable of making a decision about your own self because you're trying to improve yourself for pennsic and see if it's for you, remember that the people around you may also have social issues and have problems with social interaction. And if you are in a situation where you have problems with social interaction and you have problems with somebody else, realize you may have contradicting social interaction problems and you may start feeding each other. You're on vacation. Walk away. Realistically, yeah, it's that simple. And people don't realize it, but it is. You deal with the other 9,900 people, ignore that person, find yourself someplace to sit and chill and grab a bite to eat and relax. You are responsible for your own actions. You can't control anyone else's, but you can control yours. So keep yourself on an even keel. Again, you probably won't get overwhelmed. You can get yourself out of those situations. Other situations with neurodivergence. I am severely learning disabled. And one of the downsides to last pennsic, and I don't know if they're fixing it, I doubt they are, is the site book is very abbreviated now. It used to be you had two site books. You had one with all the merchants and stuff in it, and one with the classes and battle schedule and stuff like that in it. Now it is scan, or at least last year was scan a QR code and look at it on your phone. If you're like me, find someone to pull it up for you online and print it out. I absolutely loathe the fact that they put this on where you have to have your phone to get this information. So if you need that information tactile like I do, have someone print it out. It is not friendly as far as I'm concerned. But that's my personal problems. Other situations that may affect you. Animals. As far as I know, the only thing, first off, you are allowed a service animal. You are not allowed a emotional support animal. This has to be a legitimate service animal, and the only service animals recognized by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania are dogs. So if this is not a legitimate service animal, you're going to have to board it or somehow other deal with your pet some other way. But legally, service animals are allowed. You still have to abide by reasonable standards of service animals and stuff. If you have a service animal, you know what you need to do. And you do have to pick up after it and all that sort of stuff. But you already know. Hopefully. That's really all I can think of. If there are questions you have about your experiences at pennsic or what your potential experiences are, my encampment is a what's what, who's who of, we have various levels of spectrum, autism spectrum. We have some LGBT people in my camp. We have some religious people in my camp. We have every kind of walk of life in my camp. So somewhere along the lines, we've all had experience with each other. So that's why I'm willing to share at least my experience, because I am severely learning disabled and more than likely ADHD. I was diagnosed with all the learning disabilities, but the ADHD thing slipped under the radar because of my age, really. So unless I can get diagnosed, I'm not going to hold too tight to that one. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. These videos are what I do to help keep sane. So please leave a comment, say hello. And if you have any questions at all, remember, liking, subscribing, commenting is how we get to control the algorithm with YouTube. It's one of the only platforms where you can control the algorithm at least a little bit. And it helps me with being here. This is what keeps me from going crazy. So hopefully see you all at war. Have yourselves a great day. And now you know you're getting another cat photo, so here it comes. See you at war.